Hey Water's Edge, Tim Parsons here with your Midweek Devotional. In the course seminar on the Old Testament, when we looked at the book of Joshua, one idea that really stood out was about rest. So here's the scene. It takes place in the 14th century BC and starts with the Israelites just outside the Promised Land. This book is all about conquest. They enter the land in Exodus-like fashion, take the land, and divide it among the 12 tribes through a large portion of the book. Then they accomplish the promised rest from war, from wandering, and their enemies. So let's read Joshua 21, verses 43 to 45. Thus the Lord gave to Israel all the land that he swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and they settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. Not one of all their enemies had withstood them, for the Lord had given all their enemies into their hands. Not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the house of Israel had failed. All came to pass. So, what are some of the parallels between what they faced during those early years in the Promised Land and what we face in our lives as Christians? Maybe it feels like you're surrounded by people who are against you. It could be mental or emotional struggles. I certainly have more issues with insecurity and temptations than with physical enemies. So, getting back to Joshua, the reason the people found rest was trust. They trusted God as his chosen people, and they trusted Joshua as the faithful Savior who would lead them to the Promised Land. And let's see what the New Testament says about this in Hebrews chapter 4, verses 8 to 10. For if Joshua had given them rest, God would not have spoken of another day later on. So then, there remains a Sabbath rest for the people of God. For whoever has entered God's rest has also rested from his works as God did from his. The parallels are pretty straightforward. We as believers are God's chosen people through the perfect work of the true Savior, Jesus. He's the one who brings us to the new heavens and the new earth. And as he said in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." I look forward to seeing you again soon, Water's Edge. God bless.
Wait, don't leave just yet. We want to make sure that you enjoyed your time with us. So if you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up. And when you can, hit that subscribe button and click that bell. That way you know when we release new material. Thanks for joining us, and God bless.